Open up a new design by clicking on File, New Design. Maximize the screen. In front of you, as taught in the last few lessons, you have the base work plane. This is what we will draw our first sketch onto. Click on the View on the Work Plane tool at the bottom of the screen. This turns the work plane directly towards you so you can see directly onto it. Select the base work plane in the browser menu on the left hand side of your page. It should select in red. Now right click and go to New Sketch. Give it a name of Outline. We will start by drawing a rectangular box that will act as a guide for our design. Click on the rectangular box tool, and from the center of the axis draw out a rectangle. You will see the dimensions appear. You will need to know the maximum dimensions you want to design your MP3 player to. For example, I will design mine no bigger than 100 millimeters long by 40 millimeters wide. When you've drawn the rectangular box, go to View, Auto Scale. Then, while the lines are still selected, that is, they are red, right click and select Toggle Construction. You should see that the lines turn to dashed red. Now you will draw the shape of your MP3 player inside this guideline. This depends solely on the shape you want for your MP3 player. It could be very simple, like an ellipse shape drawing. So that would create the simple basic shape of your MP3 player. Or it could be a lot more complicated. The design is essentially up to you. Remember, be creative and don't go for what you already know. I don't want to see 20 iPods. You can use the line tool to draw any shape you want. Remember, each line has to be joined point to point. You should see a large black square appear at the end of each line when you move towards it. And remember, when you finish your outline of your shape, it should fill with a colour. If it doesn't fill with a colour, it means you haven't drawn your shape correctly, as discussed in the last few lessons. Experiment with the different drawing tools. Experiment with the spline tool, which is second from the bottom on the right hand side menu. Click anywhere on the line and click and drag it, and you will see that you can create much more interesting shapes. Remember to think about the specification you wrote for your design. What should the MP3 player be? For example, should it have sharp points on an edge? So think about your design as you go along. Of course, this is quite an unusual shape. You may want something which is more symmetrical. I will delete this sketch and start again. To draw a shape that is symmetrical, you need to start with a center line. Select the line tool and move towards one of the sides of the rectangle. Move up and down it, and you will see that when it reaches the middle, a large black square appears. Hold down the Shift key and draw a straight line across to the other side. And again, while this line is selected, right click and toggle constructed. Now draw a shape just on one side of your center line. Again, you can make up any shape you want. Just remember to start at one end of the center line and finish at the other. Then, using the Select Line tool at the top on the right hand side of the menu, hold down the Shift key and select each line of your drawing so that they have all turned red. Then go to Line, Mirror. You will see that 3 lines have been selected under the Lines tab. Select the Axis tab and then select the center line which you have created. You will see a preview of the line appear. Click OK if this is what you are looking for. Again, the filled area in the center of the continuous line you now have should be filled with a colour. If not, there is something wrong with the sketch.